Hey guys, so thanks for tuning in tonight for our Next Generation Plexus Teach Tuesday call. We do them every week at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. For some of you guys, you're not in Eastern time, so that's totally different for you guys. But tonight I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about how we can talk to potentials, people who are interested in Plexus, and cold messaging. So if you don't know what cold messaging is, we're going to talk about that too. Jessica's going to share that with us. But before we get into all of that, I also wanted to remind you guys, for all of our team leaders, we have our weekly leaders call on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So remember about that. And then for all of our ambassadors who are local to Virginia, the opportunity of a lifetime tour is going to be here this week. So it'll be in Charlottesville tomorrow, and then it'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina on Thursday. So I'll be at the one in Raleigh, and for anyone who is not local, it goes all around the country. So I know some of you guys, depending on where you live, you know when it's coming near you, but it'll be for us local this week. So I'll be in Raleigh, and they're at 7 p.m. local time for all of them. So if you are local and you want to go, just let me know. We'll carpool and go. It should be super fun. And then lastly, I wanted to tell you guys that at the end of tonight's call, I'm going to be announcing our Tuesday spotlight for this week for our team, which is super exciting, and I'm excited to tell you guys who it is. And so just getting into our topic, Jessica tonight is going to lead us out. Jessica's a silver ambassador in our team, and she's really good at reaching out to people, and so she has some great tips that she's going to share with us about how to reach out to people and what cold messaging is and how you can become really good at it too. So Jessica, you can go ahead. We're super excited to hear from you.
Hey guys, I am so excited to be doing this. I haven't done a Zoom in a long time, so this is definitely really fun. So there are three things that I wanted to go over tonight with cold messaging. We're going to go over what it is, we're going to go over why it's important, and we're going to go over how to be effective. So first off, if you don't know, cold messaging is when you reach out to people who have not, in so many terms, stated that they are interested in Plexus. And people that we cold message, people from our potentials from our hundreds list. And these people, I don't actually call it cold messaging. I like to call it warm messaging because it's not like it's a new relationship. It's probably, you know the person, but you probably just haven't kept in contact, or you don't talk on a daily basis. And then also new people that you meet, you meet someone at the gas station and you start talking about Plexus, and then you add them on Facebook, and then, you want to be able to make that connection and, lead with Plexus. So those people, of course, you want to cold message them. So why do we cold message? There are three important reasons, I think. Is one, it reaches an audience that might not really see your post, or might not know that you do Plexus. I know because I have probably 1,900 friends on Facebook, and I am definitely positive that all these people don't see my posts all the time, and they probably, some of them just might not even know that I do Plexus. Two, it gives the people who are hesitant to ask you about Plexus a chance to talk to you about it. Like, you are putting yourself out there and you're building that bridge already, so that they feel more comfortable talking to you about it. And three, as with everyone who does Plexus, you just might message them on the perfect day, because we all know that starting Plexus or doing the products, it's all about timing. If it's not the right time, these people are not going to want to do it. And so that is why after you cold message, you just have to be consistent with your follow-up and everything. So I wanted to give you guys an example of a cold message and a warm message. So with a cold message, you could say something like, of course, first of all, you want to introduce yourself if you haven't done so, because I know sometimes we add people who we haven't met in person yet, but we have mutual friends with. So you could say, hey, I'm Jessica. I'm so excited to meet you. I know we've never met in person, but I want to tell you about something I've been doing for the last year or so. So you want to tell them, about how long you've been doing it. And then if you don't care to hear about it, I can move on. But you came to mind first. And I've been looking at your profile, and I see that we have a lot in common. So let me know if you're free today. So with that, you're personal, you're creating a connection. You might not have that relationship with them yet, but you're showing them that, like you've been looking through their profile, and that you have shown interest in them, and that they came to your mind for a specific reason. And an example of a warm message, and I love this one. So you're going to say, hey, so-and-so, I wanted to reach out to you because you've been on my mind recently. And then after that, you comment on their personal life or something that you've seen they've been posting on Facebook about. And then after that, you lead back into, but like I said, you've been on my mind, and I wanted to just talk to you because I think you would absolutely love Plexus. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Plexus or not, so I'd love to just talk to you sometime about it, or even see if you know anybody who might be interested in bettering their health or finances. Please let me know. I can't wait to chat with you soon. So I love this because you're keeping it simple. You're not puking Plexus all over them, and you're giving them the chance to ask you about Plexus, or to tell you, like how much they know about it. And then it's not enforceable. Like, it's all up to them. They make the decision whether or not to carry out this conversation with you. And then lastly, you are putting it in there you're inviting them to think about others. If not for themselves, think about others who might want to be able to use Plexus. And a lot of times when people say no, even that's okay. Even if they're able to give you another name, that is so great, because then you're adding more people to your potentials list. And then what to expect. So there are 4 ways that people can respond to your cold message. The first way, people will sometimes read and they don't respond, which is like, oh, I know you read it. Like, why aren't you answering? So the best thing to do to respond, or the best way to act about this, is to go back in 2 to 3 days and message them again. And you want to be intentional, and you want to be organized about this. So you want to write down who you contact each day, so you can contact them back so you know when to contact them back. And I actually am going to be talking about, yes, definitely a follow-up system. There's actually a lot of videos on follow-up systems, and one of that I'm going to be actually starting is the tickler system. Emily Roberts does a great video on that, and there's this new app that I love now that I'm going to be sharing with you guys later. And so every 2 to 3 days. So if they don't respond, you can hit them back up with a message 2 to 3 days later. You can say, hey, I'm sure life is super busy, but I'd love to talk to you because I'm still thinking about you, and you know what? I'd love to just catch up with you. When would be a good time? And so then you do this every 2 to 3 days. And then if they still don't respond, then you start doing it every week, and then every month. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a really good follow-up system. This second way a person can respond is not at this time. And I know it can be discouraging when people say not at this time, but that's okay. You can't give up on your no's, because so many people, you can see with all the especially with Celeste Gwynn, her upline Jen Hawkins had to ask her 8 times before Celeste said yes to Plexus. So of course with these people, when they say not at this time, you can message them back in a couple weeks or a month, and you can say something like, hey, I know you said no before, but I still really think you'd love these products. And I'd love to see if maybe it's a right fit for you now. Because sometimes people might say not at this time because, it's not it's not in their, no, I'm sorry. It's not in their financial interest to do it right now because money might be tight, or they're just not ready to take on something, or they're not in that right mindset. Like I said, it's all about timing. So you'd say, and I'd love to see if maybe it's a right fit for you now. I'd love to chat with you when you have time. So talk to you soon. And the third way someone can respond to that first cold message you send, sometimes they might say never. And so when people say never is when I start to back down, unless they start to like or interact with me on Facebook on my Plexus posts. Then I will start easing back in, building a relationship with them, messaging them, liking their post, just so they see me on Facebook, they see my posts. And the last way, of course, is when someone says, yes, I'd love to hear more about Plexus. Tell me more about it. And so this is when you can start a 3-way chat with your upline to get that third-party validation, which is really great, especially if you're someone new and you don't know a lot about Plexus yet. It's great to have someone to fall back on, your upline, who has, who's a little bit more seasoned, who might have more information for you, and whose testimony might differ from yours. And of course, in this 3-way chat, I'd recommend, of course, using a voice message, because when you use voice message, people are able to hear the authenticity of what you're saying, and they can hear your passion, and they can hear your excitement. And that's what you're going for in these 3-way chats. You want to get your potential engaged, and you want to get them excited with you. And of course, when you're sharing your testimony, you want to make sure that you share from your heart, that you let them know what these products have done for you and what this company has done for you, because these people, especially if you know them, they want to know, they're your friend, and they want to know more about you. They want to know more about your journey and how it's affected you. And of course, you don't want to make it too lengthy. Otherwise, some people might get turned off and just like, oh, I don't have time for this. And then they'll go off and, say, I'll come back to it later. And then they might just forget. So you're going to, of course, want to shoot for 3 to 5 cold messages a day. And that's what the difference between a diamond and a non-diamond is that they have heard more no's than a non-diamond, and they have continued to push past it, and they are where they are now because they didn't get discouraged and they didn't stop following up with people. So I wanted to give you guys 4 nuggets about, especially if you don't take anything away from what I've just talked about, definitely take away this. The more times you cold message, the more practice you'll have, and the better you'll be at it, and you'll be able to get the results that you want. You want to make sure that your cold messages are always personal. You want to be able to make a connection with someone, even if you don't know anything about that person. Find some common ground, because that will open up, grounds for you guys to build that relationship, because we're not network marketers, we're relationship marketers. 3, more often than not, follow-up is more important than the cold message itself. So if you might be able to cold message a lot of people, but if you don't follow up with those people, if you don't go back to those people who say no, you're not gonna get the results you want. And 4, if nobody replies, if time after time you keep sending these messages, don't get discouraged. You just want to keep on pushing through, because with this business, it's all about persevering. It's all about continuing to stay motivated, especially when when time and time again it comes out that that you should be disappointed, but you don't. And that perseverance, that resilience is what's going to get you to the top. So I wanted to share with you guys this app. I think the app is only for iPhone. I haven't looked at the Android yet, but it's called Always Be in Contact. And it's the icon is this. You can, if you have an Apple Watch, you can get notifications on this. So it's called Always Be in Contact, and you can go in and change the categories. So I changed my categories to say potential, follow up, and Plexus peeps. And so basically with this, you can go in and add contacts and add potentials that you want, like it's basically a way to keep your friends list on your phone. But the great thing is that with this, you can add updates or notifications to tell you like, hey, you need to you need to check up on this person. It's been 3 days since you messaged them, or hey, this person, you met this person, like, why don't you go ahead and send them a message about Plexus. And so basically that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you guys learned something.
Thank you, Jessica. You did so awesome, and I loved all your tips. I loved what you said about the only difference between someone who's not a diamond and someone who is a diamond is the amount of no's that you've heard. So for us, like when we go to events and we get to see all the people that we look up to in our company, all of the Plexus jewels, so the people who are emerald, sapphire, diamond, they get to sit in the front at convention, and we all want to meet them and get to know what their advice is. Really, the people who get to do that and they get to sit at the front and they're the people that everyone looks up to, they have heard more no's than you, and they decided to keep going, and that's why they ended up in the seat and the position that they're in with their business, with their financial freedom and their time freedom. So I loved that point and all the other stuff that you talked about. So before we talk about who our Tuesday Spotlight is today, I wanted to share a few more tips with you guys that I have. So just a couple of notes that I have written down is in reaching out to people, you have to know that no's are okay. Your job is not to convince anyone that they need Plexus or that Plexus works or anything like that. Your job is just to give them the information and to let them decide for themselves. So if you reach out to them and you follow up with them, like Jessica was saying, the follow-up is the hugest part. And she mentioned Celeste, who is our top earner in our company. She told her friend who asked her to get started with Plexus, she told her no 8 times before she joined, and now she's the top earner in our company. So that just goes to show that your follow-up is so important. So if you do your reach outs and you do your follow-up, then you did your job. Like, you don't have to try to convince anyone of anything. That's not what our business is about. So you can also miss a huge portion of your business and what you could be doing if you're not cold messaging and you're not reaching out to people, which she mentioned. So if you are only posting on Facebook and waiting for people to come to you, you're missing a huge part of your business. You have to reach out to people. There's like 99% of the people who you could have on your team or have amazing testimonies from the products don't see your posts. So you have to take the initiative and reach out to people, and know that you have something that people want. You have something that people need. And so honestly, the way that I think of it now, because I'm so passionate about it, is I feel selfish not telling people about it. All of you guys who are on my team, like I told you about Plexus, regardless of if you thought it was annoying that I post about Plexus all the time, or I reached out to you. I wanted you guys to know about these products, and I wanted you to know about the opportunity, because I know that it can change people's lives. So know that when you're reaching out to people, and that kind of changes your perspective. I know that these products and the opportunity can change everyone's life around me, so I'm not going to not tell them about it. It's not my job to say that they have to do it. They can decide that for themselves, but I'm going to be the person to tell them about it. So Jessica kind of talked about some of this too, so I wanted to tell you guys some of like the guidelines I think about when I'm reaching out to people. So just really quickly, if you have like a close relationship with someone that you're reaching out to, you can be really direct with them. So if I'm reaching out to like my best friend or someone who's in my family, like usually I'll just be like, hey, like, you've seen me doing Plexus and you would be awesome at it, or I think you could really use the products. I'm really direct with them, and that's a good approach if you're really close with people, the people that you're reaching out to. So if you're not super close with them, Jessica mentioned this, you want to develop a relationship with them, you have to, like, people, the one thing that I've learned about cold messaging and about developing relationships with people is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you express that you care about someone, then they will be open to hearing about what you have to say, regardless of if they decide to get started with Plexus or not. They're not going to listen to you if they think that you're just trying to get a sale out of them. And if that's what you're trying to do, then you're not going to be successful in your business anyways. You have to have the belief in all of the aspects of yourself, our company, the products for you to be successful. So you have to just know that like having that approach to talking to people is not going to help you. So just develop relationships with people. And same goes for, you know, whether you're not super close with them or they're a stranger, you want to start developing the relationship with them. And then I know we have 10 more minutes before this closes us out. But I wanted to tell you guys also how you can cold message on other social media platforms. This is something I really want to share with you guys. So I started cold messaging on Instagram, which can be huge for your business. So if you go to your Discover page on Instagram, it's just like Facebook. So it's based on the people that you like and interact and comment with on Instagram. So it's based on stuff that you would like. So if you go to your Discover page, and you keep doing the process I'm about to talk about, like your Discover page is going to be full of potentials that are perfect for your business and people who are just like you. Which is really cool. So what you can do is go to your Discover page and find people that are interested in stuff that you're interested in. It's already people that you might have mutual friends with, and or people that you are just like stuff that you're interested in. So like my Discover page has a lot of like yoga and stuff like that on it because I like that and I like and comment on yoga profiles. So you can reach out to people and say like, hey, I just found you on my Discover page. I love your page, and just like interact with them and build a relationship, and comment on their pictures when they post. And as you're developing that relationship, I try to get them on Facebook. So after I've talked to them for a while, I'm like, hey, do you have Facebook? I'm on there more than I'm on here. And ask one thing that is like not even just on Instagram in general, when you're talking to someone, you want to be thinking about, especially if it's someone that you really look up to, someone that's an influencer in whatever you're interested in, maybe someone who's an influencer where you live, someone who's like really popular and everyone loves them, or someone who is like a celebrity of sorts, someone that you really look up to. Those people, and like anyone, we all, when we're talking to someone, we both want an exchange. Like people want something out of what you're getting out of something too. So when you talk to people, always have the attitude of like being able to be of service to that person. So if I'm reaching out to someone who I like really, really look up to, say like one of my friends, she has a business where she does jewelry. So when I reach out to her, I'm not like, hey, like you have a huge network, like you'd be awesome on my team. I reach out to her and I'm like, hey, I saw your business page. You're doing so awesome. How can I help you with that? Can I post on Facebook and share your business page? And when you do that, you have to do it in a genuine way, but that's the kind of thing that helps you build relationships and makes it really authentic, because you can't just be expecting people to give you things all the time. You have to be the person to give and be of service to other people as well. So going back to Instagram, just be really active on there. You can also in your posts use hashtags. There's an ambassador, Diamond Ambassador Bridget Ryan, who she built a whole lot of her business on Instagram. So a lot of that was from hashtags. So she's a mom, so she'll do like hashtag mom life or whatever relates to what you are that attracts people to your page. Because when they click on that hashtag, maybe they use the hashtag themselves, they can find you. And that's how she has a lot of her team. And then she'll add them on Facebook, like I was talking about. That helps people find you. And we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to tell you guys about kind of a similar thing that you can do on Facebook to expand your network. All of this is stuff to where these are more people that you can be cold messaging, more people that you can be talking to. So on Facebook, one thing that you can do that I have just started doing, and this is some advice that I got from Senior Ruby Ambassador Alex Coulomb, and she was on our our call a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it was last week, maybe the week before. She was super awesome and she shared some of this stuff, but I wanted to reiterate this to you guys because I know we have some new people on the team and maybe people who didn't get to hear that. So she was talking about expanding your network on Facebook in terms of joining groups. So here's what I have written down in the breakdown that I'm kind of following. So join 4 Facebook groups that interest you, so anything. So I joined a group that's about being an imperfect boss because I'm working on not feeling like I have to be so perfect. I joined a group about cooking because I love cooking. So whatever you're interested in, join Facebook groups. And then each week of that month, you want to break it up for those 4 groups. So on the first week, you're going to choose one group and focus on that group. So every day in that group, you're going to go in there, like and comment on people's posts. And you're also going to do your own post in that group that asks for interaction. So you could say, hey guys, I've been thinking about so-and-so, like, what do you guys think? Like some kind of call to action post where it'll get people to comment on it. So the people that you're interacting with in that group and like developing relationships naturally with, where you have like a common interest, and maybe the people who comment on your post that you do in that group, those are the people you're going to want to add on Facebook, because those are people, it's different than where if you go through suggested friends, because you might not actually have a whole lot in common with those people. Whereas if you're in Facebook groups of things that you're really passionate about and some things that you really love, then there are people that you're going to really love and connect with in those groups too. So the biggest thing that I took from what Alex was sharing is that if you do that and then on your personal Facebook throughout that week, whatever group you're focusing on, post about that. So the new people that you're adding who are interested in the same thing as you can see that you add value to being a Facebook friend to them because you talk about something they're interested in. So for me, if I'm focusing on like the cooking group that I'm in that week, then I would be posting on my personal Facebook like recipes that I'm cooking and like stuff about me loving cooking, which you have to choose things that you actually are interested in, because if you don't, then you're going to be trying to post stuff that you like know nothing about and you're not actually interested in. So you have to like actually think about what you would want to be posting about and what you actually like. And if you don't like anything or you don't know or you don't have any hobbies, then like try something new and just actually be interested in that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Before this cuts us off on the last few minutes, I do want to tell you guys about our Tuesday Spotlight this week. And this is someone who has been working really, really hard this week and really the past 2 weeks. They have a whole lot of personal responsibility, and they really just take their business and they're personally responsible for it. They don't have to be reminded to do things. They go out of their way to help people on the team. They help the team a whole lot. They've been working on a launch party this week. So I'm super excited to tell you guys that our guest speaker tonight is actually our Tuesday Spotlight. Again, Jessica Ortega. So much for tuning in and supporting her tonight. She's been doing so awesome. And if you guys don't know, Jessica was actually our Tuesday Spotlight last week as well. So Jessica is the first person on our team to be our Tuesday Spotlight 2 weeks in a row, because I see so much growth in Jessica and she's just doing so well. And, I never have to remind her to do anything. She goes above and beyond to do that kind of stuff and to help everyone else on the team. She's such a team player, but also really motivated in her personal business and working on her personal growth and being positive and changing her mindset to be a diamond mindset. So this week she definitely told me that she wants to go all the way to the top and she's going to be a diamond. And I know that that's going to happen for her. So congratulations, Jessica. We're so proud of you. And I'm going to be posting about that in the team page later. So go comment on that and tell Jessica congratulations. But
thank you.
Thanks for being on tonight. And I do also want to mention right before we get off that everything we said tonight, you want to take with a grain of salt. This is your business. You do what you need to do with your business. Be personal with the people that are in your life. That's the most genuine, authentic, best way that you can be successful in your business. Do what works for you. But we're glad we got to share some tips with you guys tonight. So good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.